Welcome back to another Invader video. Today we'll be looking at how to invade the moyo that is presented, right? It's white's turn. And this game is, once again, from my student. He's playing as white. So let's help him to sort of think about some of the invasion points and how he can play as white from here. So welcome back. So some of the possible ideas when we brainstorming is probably things like a reduction move, right? This is very interesting. Maybe we can think about going from this direction. This mode is so open. It has so many ways to invade. This is really hard to decide, right? Some other possibilities are like, well, maybe we can make use of the weakness at c7. Maybe even clamp it b7, right? This could be an interesting move. And maybe we can just push and cut here, right? This is also a very interesting choice. So we'll talk about some of those. The first thing is maybe we can play this one, right? We just understand that, let's make a safe. We want safety, so we play a safe, relaxing reduction move. The problem with this move is very obvious, right? The next move, black seals you. And now we have a problem, right? How are we going to invade something like this, right? If we let black enclose everything in here, it's very likely white does not have enough territory to compensate for this amount of territory. And this happens a lot in the players that I see online, right? They play a move like this and they're like, oh, you know what? I realize that this is too much. I'm going to go in now, right? And this is a inconsistent idea, inconsistent play, right? We play a relaxing move and then we play a very aggressive move. This will likely be killed, right? So if black just follows up with this, how is white going to live here, right? This is very, very difficult, right? It's difficult for anyone, right? For professionals, even, right? It's not just for you, it's for everyone. That's because of the mistake of making inconsistent idea, and it happens so much in our games. We play this one, then we regret it, and then we lose the game, right? So that's why the planning for invasion is super important. Another interesting idea is to play c7, right? This is the idea that we talked about last time, making use of opponent's weakness. That was one of our invasion principle. Black follows up by connecting, and then we play out the textbook move like this. Black harness on top, and then white plays c11, right? So the textbook thing that we talked about in our last Invader video. So if you haven't checked it out, you can go ahead and watch that. It's quite fun. The problem today is that black is going to play out this one. And then white, how is white going to live here? White does not have enough ice space. Very, very difficult for white to break out towards the center. So if you're curious, right, I'm just going to show the last tutorial very, very quick. So I suggested this move, right, making it use of opponent's weakness, clamp here, jump here, and then we play out this one. Now you can probably notice the difference. Last time, this wall that white has was very far from our L17 stone, but look at today. This is super close towards our C11 stone, right? So this kind of gives you an idea of one of the important things in a game of Go, is that you cannot just think in a textbook way, right? You have to think flexibly. Our environment has changed. Then we have to read again, right? This wall is much closer. It's much more protective of the moyo than this one. Our approach is not going to work anymore, right? That used to work. This is a perfect. Last time I think I presented something like this. Black plays out this one, if you remember, and white connects. Black connects and then live. Black successfully invading this But now when black plays b12, right, the things that we learned does not work anymore. We're just gonna die here pretty much, right? So yeah, even if it's the right principle, we still have to figure out the right tactics, right? So without the right tactics, without the correct reading, it is very hard, especially against very strong opponents. So what are some of the other possibilities? What about if we just play here, right? Looks about right? We are not too we're not too close towards the moyo. First of all, well, black can just play something like this, cut you off. This is already very difficult to deal with, right? Yeah, I just don't know how white's gonna play out like this, right? So also black can think about, play very brutal variations or something like this. This is also very, very difficult. Even black connects. What you gonna do here? You connect here, I can cut you off. And obviously if you play this one, black is able to cut white off. And this is obviously a mistake. Why is it a mistake? Because your stone is facing a very strong troop, right? You usually don't want your stone to be very close to a wall like this. So we can tell this is a very, very tough problem, right? I talked about many possibilities, right? What about something like if I just invade here? These are all very risky because black can cap you. And I'm pretty sure you had this feeling that you just can't breathe. Well, this is definitely one of them, right? You play this one. Whatever you play, your opponent is so brutal, right? It's so uncivilized, and then just cut and cut and cut. And actually, white cannot do much about it, right? This is actually a very good play by black because of all these helper stones that are exerting influence towards this fight. Really, really difficult game, right? It looks it's such an overplay, but it's actually not, right? Because black can afford to be aggressive thanks to all the helping stones. So you definitely don't want to be in a situation like this as white. So what is the solution, right? What are some of the thoughts or some of the principles that we need to follow in this kind of situation? Well, so our principles won't change, right? It doesn't matter what game what type of situation you're in. Making use of our opponent's weakness is always the first thing that we need to think about, right? This idea of a very active play, active mindset, it is very, very important. So white will follow that by push and cut at f5, right? This is our correct idea. Why is it correct? Well, because by pushing and cutting, right, it looks like we are actually the attacker and we are trying to create insecurities for these two groups. So this will keep black really busy. Black needs to figure out how to deal with this. So if black Ataris, we will extend, black Ataris again, white will extend again. And now there's some tactical things that black needs to be aware of, right? If you keep pushing, white's going to have a peep here and then extend. And then these guys are kind of in danger, right? So black has to be aware of these tactical problems. Black's correct move is to play a patient tiger's mouth. White turns. So once again, the reading is very important. If black just plays whatever, right, there is a cutting point here. And black is not able to defend this cutting point, right? If you play this one, white will extend out, and I'm pretty sure all of you can read this out, right? Black cannot take care of both groups at the same time. Black's correct move is to fix weaknesses. Now we can see black spend two moves actually fixing his weaknesses, right? This is the benefit of making use of your opponent's weakness. Now we have these guys that are helping our invasion. Our next move is going to be at G10. Right? This is an excellent move. Why is that? Well, it follows our principle in the very first video, right? Or the very first principle I mentioned, that is to give ourselves as many options as possible. So we can look at the jump out, we can look at the jump horizontally, we can look at the attach, we can look at this small knight that's threatening to cut black off, and we can play out a jump over here. So now white is very, very slippery, very flexible, right? If black attack this way, we can jump here. If you count me this way, okay, I have this ways, and now white start to form I space, and white has further ways to form I space. So this will look very vivid. It looks like a very vivid group that is very, very hard to kill already. So I won't go further than this because the tactics after that is still complicated, and then the only thing I can say is maybe work more on your reading, because I cannot help you for the entire game. But this offers you the best insight as to how to invade. Another possibility is for black to just jump. This is a more patient move. White will follow up by extending black blocks. This fixes the cutting point because whenever you push, I can extend. Right? There's no cutting point here. So white won't push here, right? What white will do is to once again make use of the weakness, forcing black to connect, and then white can think about jumping here or clamping first. Right? This is all very good ideas. If black ever extend, then white is able to jump and then cause problems. So I think it is maybe better for black to either play something like this, right? So maybe this is a better way of playing, just giving up. But I think white's gonna keep going with this kind of annoying move. And this is a very tactical area that has a lot to cover, but I don't think I need to cover the tactics because the key idea behind that is I guess you encounter a different game every single game, right? So I cannot cover all the tactics in every single game. But at this point, you can tell that black has a shape problem, and then he has to be very careful with the liberties here. So this is not so easy for black to continue, and then very likely white is able to break into the moyo partially to keep the balance of the game. So these are two possible variations moving forward, and obviously things like this will be countered by this, right? Like this is already this is already tactically not working for black. If you play this, white has a wedge here, and that's pretty much game over. White is able to just capture the 2 stone, break into the moyo. So the push and cut would be our solution for this kind of moyo. We're still making use of a principle, except we are smarter. Except I guess we are using our reading as well in this case, right? We're making use of opponent's weakness, and we're also reading things out, right? If you don't read things out, right? If you just go ahead and say, hey, I want to play this, well, guess what? Immediately you will be killed here, right? Because you didn't read at all what's happening. You didn't read that this wall was a lot closer than in this game, right? So reading plus our principle will give you a very successful invasion. Alright, so don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and thank you very much for watching. Talk to you guys next time.